Hello, Kendall from Reddit Whiskey with the recap of my first attack from this war, and I'm actually pretty excited about this base. It's not the most highly leveled base. There's still purple walls out here, and just a few Legos, but heroes are decent level. They're mid-teens. But what's nice about this base is there's actually a bunch of double giant bomb locations, potential double giant bomb locations, and frankly, good potential double giant bomb locations. I've done last couple of wars. I've had some bases that had really poor placed double giant bombs or no double giant bombs, and I don't think those are nearly as exciting, nor can you really learn much from them. But this one here, kind of looking at your options here, you've got a potential double giant bomb set here. You've got a potential double giant bomb set here. You've got a potential double giant bomb set here, one here, and then also in between the cannon and archer towers down here. Now it's not to move it all the way up here between the wizard tower, because then you're not in between two defenses, so your hogs really are never going to path over them correctly, or you could path your hogs around them very easily. But all six of these are valid locations, and it is a possibility to have hogs path over one of these sets. So that being said, how do we go about removing as many of these as possible, or removing the possibility for as many of these as possible, so that we don't have to worry about them? So first, starting off, these two here on the way to the Archer Queen, I can go ahead and just cross those off the list. I plan on sending a Golem in with my Barbarian King straight up the gut here to get to the Archer Queen, so I can just basically remove those two. I don't care if there's double giant bombs there or not. My Golem and Barbarian King are going to pop them. That being said, this component over this pocket over here, in order to be able to test this set here, I've got to have all three of these defenses removed. So I can go ahead and remove this set knowing I'm going to take out these three defenses, and that's also what's going to get me my clan castle pull. And then I can almost remove this set, or I can at least test for this set, because I can send a single hog in to try to get the pop there. From there, that kind of leaves these two top sets. And these two top sets are actually kind of tricky, because the way that, because this cannon and this archer tower are that much farther ahead, even if I was to take out this archer tower, I couldn't simply send a hog in between these two defenses to test here, because the way it's kind of laid out, these are actually, any hog that you send from up this direction is going to go to the cannon first. So that means I'd actually have to take out both of these point defenses on both sides to be able to test for that. So, and because this cannon's so close to the air defense here, I can't really use balloons to do that. So it becomes very difficult to test that in your normal way by just sending one hog. What I can do, though, is I can use hog pathing to eliminate these as potential double giant bomb sets. So let me clear this off here a little bit so we can see what we're talking about. So, for instance, let's say both of the double giant bomb sets are here and here. And I guess the other kind of key thing is, my assumption was we've got quad Teslas in the core. That definitely, you could have had double giant bomb sets in the core here. They would have been very weak locations, because hogs wouldn't have pathed over them. They would have just jumped and ran around the side. So my assumption, though, was they had quad Teslas in the core. So from there, the question is, well, how do you get rid of these? And my plan was I was going to take out all three of these top defenses with balloons, because I could do them basically 2-for-2 trade. I still can't path that one hog in to test for it. So the other thing, though, I could do, as I said before, I'm going to send my Golem and my Barbarian King in this direction. What I could then do is I could send in my hogs kind of in this direction. And if they do that, what you're going to see in regards to pathing is they're going to jump to this Expo next. Then they're going to have some that jump up to this archer tower, this air defense, some that are going to move forward as Tesla, but the ones that jump up to this air defense here, they're going to pop just one of these two double giant bombs. Now, true, they might path next to here to the mortar. The same thing, though, that's going to occur, though, while a single heal placed right here, it's going to pop one of them at a time, so one of them will pop, and then the second will pop as they move to the mortar. But as long as there's a heal already down there, because they're going to pop at different times, they're no threat to my hogs. Then what you're going to get is the same thing. They're going to kind of path along this way. You're going to get come to path this way. These that get to the Tesla here, though, you're going to get a few that jump up. They're going to pop just one of them. Means these would never actually be double giant bomb threats up there at all. So my plan for this raid, and I know there's kind of a long build up to get there, is The first thing I want to do is I want to start at the very top, and I'm planning on sending in 2 balloons here, 2 balloons here, and 2 balloons here. And what that should do is that will get all 3 of these defenses taken out. And because of that, I can use hog pathing to remove basically these potential double giant bomb sets, because I can't come in from the top to test, but I can come in from the bottom side to test whether, or I'm sorry, to path my hogs so that I don't worry about hitting both of these giant bombs at the same time. So that was going to be the start of my raid. From there, I was going to immediately jump down to the bottom here, and I was going to do 2 balloons here, 2 balloons here, 2 balloons here, and then 2 balloons here. And the reason I jumped from Archer Tower to Cannon was you always want to deploy, when you've got 3 defenses lined up like that, you always want to deploy your balloons on the defenses that can shoot them first. It just is good practice. And the only reason I was taking out this defense here, because as I said, I was sending my golem in this direction. If that Archer Tower had still been up, my golem would have swung around to the outside there. So that was the reason I was taking that out. So from there, it should be they had done enough. We had done enough war attacks this war that I already knew they had been using very, very similar clan castle compositions. It was always 1 witch, 1 balloon, 2 wizards, and a few archers. So I knew there was going to be a balloon in there. So my plan was, as soon as this cannon had gone down, I was going to go ahead and send a single hog in to get the balloon out. So that was kind of my plan from there, and I was hoping that single hog would also help take out this wizard tower for what my next step was going to be. So from there, I was going to do, standard kill squad over in the corner over here, barbarians, witches, archer, queen, and wizards. Nothing special there. For there, I was going to send in my 1 golem this direction. I was going to drop a wizard here to break the trash ring, wizard here to break a trash ring, drop my barbarian king in this direction, followed by wall breakers, 2 wall breakers to get me in right there. Then I was going to have a jump spell that I was going to send right here to be able to get them to path all the way through. So that was my plan from there. Once this was kind of working, and I was able to do it because I knew it was going to take a little while for the Golem and Barbarian King to kind of wade their way through these little defenses. And while the kill squad was working over here, I was going to make sure I sent in enough hogs to get this wizard tower taken out, so then that I could path a single hog in this direction to test for the double giant bomb set. And then from there, once I knew if this was a double giant, if this wasn't a double giant bomb set and this wasn't a double giant bomb set that I was going to find out from my Barbarian King and Golem, I knew they were both up here. I could simply path my hogs in just like I described. If I hit a double giant bomb set here, then I knew I was going to need a heal for this part over there. If there wasn't one here, I could, do my pathing. What ended up actually happening is he had both of his double giant bomb sets right here. So therefore, I actually even changed up my hog drop. Instead of coming in from this bottom side right here, I wanted to head right into the teeth of this base and get those Teslas taken out as quickly as possible. So I actually deployed my hogs from the very top. But that was just a decision I made kind of last minute because there was really no need to potentially hit some spring traps as I ran through this way. So, that was kind of the raid. We will jump to the replay and kind of go through. I think it'll make a little bit more sense to see it, and I'll kind of talk through as I was doing it. But you'll see, it kind of started at the top, just like I said, 2 balloons, 2 balloons, 2 balloons, and you see, very important, I dropped them on Archer Tower, and then Cannon. We'll zoom out. I immediately start with 2 balloons here, 2 balloons on the Archer Tower, 2 on the Cannon, and then 2 on this final Archer Tower. Everything's going well here. All of this goes down. I start to get the clan castle pull. You'll see, go ahead and send in my 1 hog to get the balloon pulled out. And actually that wizard tower goes down for me, which is beautiful, so I don't have to waste any more hogs there. Go ahead and start pathing over. And this is something else too I've noticed a lot of people doing. There's defenses that I'm going to have that are being arranged in my kill squad, but I want to drag these troops so as far over the corner as possible. So I send 1 barbarian in, let him get all the way over here and die. Send my 2 more in, send my witches, but I'm using, look how far back into this corner is. Use as much of this space as you can to make it easier on your kill squad. That's all going fine. Go ahead and send the golems down. get my 2 witches in to break the trash ring, Barbarian King, and wall breakers go in. Everything's working well here. I'm kind of just waiting for him to get forward a little bit. I get the jump spell down, and I send my single hog in to test for giant bomb. Perfect. I hit one of the giant bombs, so I know there's a set here. Now I've just got to figure out where the other set is. I'm just kind of waiting for these. Unfortunately, it's a little slower than you'd like it to be. I'm losing my kill squad, which I hate, but I can't speed these up really a whole lot. Here, though, jumps over, and luckily I hit the other giant bomb set here. So now I make the decision, okay, I've got this double giant bomb set is taken care of. The other one's right there. Let's go ahead and get these in as quickly as possible to these Teslas and on this Expo. So I go ahead and send both of my hogs, do a 2-finger drop on these 2 defenses. Go ahead and get my first heal down because I knew I ended up hitting those quad Teslas right there. They're going through. I go ahead and get my next heal down because I know these are going to path over. A lot of point defenses right there. And then, from there, I've got 1 heal left. I'm going to go ahead and kind of move it forward and just kind of drop the other heal kind of over here. And, these are, luckily I had one jumped over and popped that giant bomb for me, so that's the end of it. So that was the raid. I was glad I had a little bit more exciting of a base because it was a bit of a challenge to kind of plan out. I had to think about this one for a little bit of exactly how I wanted it to work out, but, they made it pretty easy putting both of the giant bombs down here. If I was designing the base, I'd say never put a double giant bomb set that is on the way to your Archer Queen because it's most likely going to get taken out. If he'd have put, the set here plus the setup here, it would have been a little trickier. I still think you could have done that had he had higher level heroes, higher level walls. This would have been a much tougher base. So hope you'll like that. I hope that was helpful. I hope you'll learn something. If there's any questions or comments, please leave them below. And thank you very much for watching.